Movement in the visual field consists of color spots, figures, groups, placed on the plane and rhythmically repeated at certain intervals. Without rhythm, movement does not exist. Undoubtedly, this movement must be integral. Let's imagine a staircase in a multi-story house. The staircase represents identical staircases and interfloor platforms. There is a kind of rhythmic structure, and if, for some reason, one of the aisles is destroyed, the rhythm is destroyed, and the perception of the whole staircase as a whole is destroyed. In the decorative panel Music by the French artist Matisse, made for the Russian manufacturer and patron of arts Shchukin, the artist rhythmically arranged the figures of people singing and playing musical instruments on the plane. As if to enter the painting and begin our visual journey, gradually moving our gaze from one figure to another. The first one is the figure of a seated, on the right edge, singing man. It is the entrance to the painting, and it is the beginning of the movement. All the figures are placed at equal distances from each other. All are sitting, but the turns of their poses are consistently different and expected, and even their mouths are opened differently, so that they seem to be emitting some harmonic melody. This melody is completed by the figure of the standing violinist, on whom this movement ends, and it links the whole group to the background. Suppose that some figure has disappeared. In the painting, the connections between the singing people and the violinist are immediately destroyed. The rhythmic structure conceived by the artist disappears. Without rhythm, the whole movement disappears, and the meaning of the painting is lost. Consider another rhythmically calibrated composition. This is Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper. In this fresco, all movements are subordinated to a strict metrical rhythm, and the window openings and the columns supporting the ceiling and the cellular ceiling itself, and also the figures of the 12 apostles divided into groups. Each group consists strictly of 3 people, not counting Jesus Christ sitting in the center of the table. Due to the fact that the image of Christ is knocked out of the created rhythm, Leonardo distinguishes him from the general mass of those present, emphasizing his singularity and loneliness. All the groups are united by the movement of the hands. Only Christ has lowered his hands on the table, and Judas Iscariot, placed by the artist in the center of the second group of apostles on the left side of the fresco. Judas's right hand is making a grasping motion, and his left hand is firmly holding a pouch of silver pieces. Botticelli's painting Spring also clearly traces the rhythm 3-1-3-1. The painting Spring was commissioned by Botticelli Lorenzo the Magnificent for his 17-year-old nephew Lorenzo di Pierfrancesco as a wedding gift, and carries in itself wedding references, vested in allegorical form. Therefore, single figures, there are the essence of the protagonists, are the goddess Venus and Lorenzo di Pierfrancesco himself. We find unusual rhythmic structures in Jacopo Bassano's painting Moses Carving Water from a Rock. In the diagram above, I have outlined in white lines the rhythmic structures rising upwards, relative to the horizontal edge of the painting. It all begins at the bottom of the painting, where the kind woman gives water to her chicken. This scene is an introduction, but it also helps us to understand the meaning of the painting. Does the foolish bird think about the man who cares for it? For her, the main thing is food, whether it has it or not. The human mass behaves the same way, which, being saturated with material or spiritual moisture, forgets about its hero who extracted this moisture for it. And, after his feat, the hero becomes forgotten and abandoned, like the lonely figures wandering to a remote hut, depicted by the artist in the third background of the painting. By vertical axial lines passing through the human figures, the artist Ivanov builds a rhythm in his painting, the appearance of Christ to the people. These axial lines bind the crowd of waiting people into one slender system, and help our eye to gradually view the events taking place at the gathered people. This painting has all the elements that are present in the writer's craft. The introduction, which is the two already baptized in the left edge of the painting. Then the lead, which consists of a group of those standing with John the Baptist greeting Christ, those seated, those yet to enter the Jordan, and the new arrivals. The climax is the solitary figure of Christ walking towards the people. The denouement is the mountains, which with their mass and color point us to his divine essence, and finally, the epilogue is the blue sky itself, whence Christ was sent.